It's a wonderful day we're having out here outside. I like making my videos outdoors because, number one, because you guys only ever get to see a small part of my life, I don't want you guys assuming that I'm like some indoor, dumb, little fat guy who only plays video games all day. I actually love going outside. Like, I've always been an outdoors guy. When I was a kid, I always loved going outside to play soccer, play basketball, or some fun, productive. I'm always an outdoors person, even when I'm hanging with friends or something like that. My best memories are always outside. Like, we're doing something outside. I don't like being inside. Like, obviously there's times where I like being inside, like obviously when I go to bed or eat at least, but I love being outside. I know I'm a little chunker a bit, but hey, look, I'm just prepping for Ramadan. But there's a conversation I wanted to have, and it's about the hijab. And it's this weird hatred that the West has for the hijab. And I'm calling out Latin America too. I'm not just calling out the United States of America. I'm calling out Latin America, because it is disgusting what I see when I go to Latin America. When I go to Mexico, when I go to Salvador, which is where my mom and dad are from, when I've gone to those countries, I see a lot of promiscuity going on, and it saddens me because Latina culture and Latino culture too is all about just sex, right? Even though these are very Catholic countries who believe in God, they are very promiscuous. Like, I'm not even joking when I say this, and I know I said this in my last video, but I have like 3 female cousins who by the age of 14 or 15 were already pregnant. Like, I'm not even joking, bro. But I want to talk about the hijab because I was thinking about this a while ago. I was like, what's my future? Because my plan is to get married eventually. Obviously, my plan right now is to study, get closer to God through studying the Quran and becoming a better Muslim every day. And obviously, with Ramadan coming up, like, to me right now, my mindset's on Ramadan. Like, I'm really excited for that. But one of the things I was thinking about, like, was, hey, I plan to get married. And obviously, I plan to marry a Muslim woman. I plan on, obviously, she's going to have to wear hijab. And I was just thinking, like, in America, there's this hatred for the hijab. There's this weird hatred. Sorry if I got a runny nose, by the way. I apologize for that. But there's this weird hatred for the hijab. There's this weird animosity towards it because, and one of my fears is, like, when I marry a Muslim woman, what's it going to be like? Like, is there going to be people giving her weird looks, people treating her poorly? Because I don't mind if people look at me weirdly or people look at me odd, but when it's someone I care about, it's kind of like, man, like, now I got to defend a whole different person. It's like, that's hard. But obviously, as a man, we have to defend our wives, and I was just thinking about, like, why is it that in America, and this is a genuine question, why is it that in America women are taught at a young age by rappers? Look at female rapper culture. They're rapping about promiscuity. They're rapping about their private parts. They're all dressed up very provocatively. Even when you go to a store like Target or Walmart, you see literally like pictures of women in their underwear there. Porn is promoted heavily. Masturbation seen as normal. But when a woman decides, I'm going to dress modestly, I'm going to please God, I'm going to please my husband, and put on hijab, all of a sudden it's oppressive, it's a sexist religion. Oh no, Muslims bad, oh no. It's like that. Isn't that weird? In America, we promote all this promiscuity, tight jeans, having your belly button showing, having your boobs come out. Like, it's weird, the culture that we promoted here in America. And then I look at Muslim countries and I look at what they promote, and they're promoting everyone be modest. Even men have to be modest. Like, I'm modest. Like, one of the things I had to change in my life is that I can't wear a lot of the shorts I have. I love wearing shorts, but I gotta either wear basketball shorts that cover my knees, or I gotta wear pants, which I'm completely fine with, because at the end of the day, I do not care about this world of the temporary things. I care about what God says. Like, to me, at the end of the day, this is just temporary. So I don't mind having to put on pants. Nonetheless, I always wear pants regardless. It's just that usually I used to wear shorts, when I work out or stuff like that. That's not too big of a difference. I understand that hijab on a woman is completely different from a man. There's a lot more to a man. But I was just thinking that, like, isn't that crazy, the culture we have in America? And now when I get into Latin America, because I wanted to bring this up, in Latin America, Latina women, and much love to my Latina women, but y'all be dressing up like some, I don't want to be rude, but if you go to Mexico, a lot of the women there are dressed and I'm gonna say this the nicest way possible, like prostitutes. Like, I'm not even joking. I remember one time when I was 12 years old, we were going to Mexico, and this was like at 9 p.m. I believe, 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. because I remember we weren't allowed to be out after 9, I think. But it was like 8 p.m. We were going to my abuela's house, and grandma. Sorry, apologize. I always forget that. I'm not used to calling my grandma, but we were going there, and I was 12 years old, and this woman had her bare boobs out. Like, she was wearing like these shorts that were really tight, that were a little above the knee, and she had this weird like this little, like a tank top, but the tank top revealed her boobs. And I'm like, what's even the point of wearing clothes if you're gonna show everyone your bare boobs? And also, I was 12. Now, obviously, that was not her intention. She wasn't trying to show a 12-year-old her breasts, but nonetheless, you're out there in public. You should be aware that there's gonna be kids walking around, And I truly believe this. I believe that every person in this world, I don't care if you're atheist, Christian, Muslim, whatever you are, you need to set an example for the future generations. You need to set that example so that if a young person, and here's the thing, a young person, they're going to look up to people. They're going to. You just don't know who or why. When I was a kid, I looked up to my Spanish teacher from 8th grade. I looked up to my soccer coach from 7th grade. I looked up to these different people growing up that, to me, they were prime examples in my life. They were role models. There are people I looked at and I wanted to be like them, right? And it's not because I wanted to. It's just I looked at them and I thought, they're cool. I want to, they have a lot of honor and a lot of respect. I want to be like them. And as a kid, you can't choose that. It's why kids end up loving movie stars, or they love the newest soccer player. Right now kids love Kylian Mbappe or Erling Haaland. Me as a kid, I love Lionel Messi. And apologize, man, I got a runny nose, bro. Oh my gosh, I deeply do not like being sick, bro. But that's why you got to be outside, all right? You got to get your vitamin D or whatever vitamins. I know you're supposed to be outside nonetheless. But, people look at role models, and I think that's a danger with the culture in Latin America. Women who, even in their 40s, they're wearing like really tight shorts, or they're wearing a really tight shirt, their belly button's showing, their cleavage is showing, everything's showing. And so when a little girl looks at that woman in their life, maybe it's their aunt, maybe it's their sister, whatever, they end up inheriting that. And that's not right. So I say this to everyone. Even if you're not intending to be a role model, you gotta be a role model to people. You gotta be a role model to these kids, because they're going to inherit what you follow, especially if you're really active in their life. Like, if you're an older brother, even if your little brother is like only 2 years younger or something, you gotta be a role model to him. You gotta be a role model to the people around you, especially if you follow God. Because if you follow God, you need to do right with what God says. When I first became Muslim, and I obviously had to avoid pork, I wasn't like, but I really like hot dogs, or I really like bacon. I was like, nah, I'm gonna suck it up, find turkey bacon, find turkey food or some alternative, and just not eat pork. It's that simple. Also, I like having these rocks, but it's like people love to complain and complain and complain. Oh, why does God not allow me to fornicate with 5 different women? I don't know. Ask him that. Pray to him, right? And it's weird that we hate hijabs, and people are like, hijabs are oppressive, hijabs are this, hijabs are that. What is oppressive about saying, men, women, let's all dress up modestly? Because the reality is there's going to be people that lust after us. Now, I'm lucky enough that I'm really ugly. So, women, shout out to women, because y'all ain't lusting for me. So, I'm helping y'all, all right? But not everyone has that luxury. Not everyone has that luxury. But it's just weird that, we complain about single parents. We complain about kids not having adult role models in their life, and yet we're over here promoting Ice Spice or Cardi B or Nicki Minaj, even male rappers, Drake, Little Yachty, or I don't know, I actually don't know anything about him, but these rappers, they promote, like the male rappers promote drinking, going partying, being away from God, while the female ones are about, let me be promiscuous, let me show off my cleavage to everyone. It's disgusting. That's why I believe Islam solves all the problems in the world. solves every problem in the world, and it saddens me because I'll actually go out in public, and when I see a woman dressed up very provocatively, all I'm thinking is imagine if that was my daughter. Like, if that was my daughter, I'd be disappointed. Like, I'd be ashamed. That's why I think that's one of the things that really changed about my life when I found God. You know, it was like I now start to notice the horrible influence of the world, you know. Back then, I used to look at a beautiful girl dressed up inappropriately and be like lustful. My mind would be very lustful. Nowadays, I look at a girl who's dressed very provocatively, and I'm like, man, I'm just kind of disappointed. But that's just a random thought I had. Porn culture, masturbation culture, the fornication culture, even just recently the homosexual culture that's growing rapidly in America, and especially in Latin America. It's just shameful to see. It's just shameful. And I think it also saddens me even more with Latin America, with Latina women, because Latinos grow up following God. Latinos grow up, most of them being Catholic. I grew up in a Christian household. I grew up going to a Christian Baptist church. We grew up with the sense of God, but I'm gonna be honest, Latinos don't really follow God. They just kind of follow God by name. Like, I think the way depression is seen as an aesthetic nowadays in America, that's what Latinos see with God. God to them is just an aesthetic. Oh, look, let me carry this Virgin Mary bracelet. Oh, let me have or did I say bracelet? I mean necklace. Oh, let me have this cross up in my household. But yet they're over here getting drunk every Friday night. They're over here fornicating with different women. They got children with different women. You know, they're over here cursing a storm, talking about the degeneracy. They promote that degeneracy by dressing inappropriately, promoting drunkenness. They do all this. But yet they go on Sunday and they're like, oh Lord, please forgive me. And then they do it again. That's why, to me, Islam solves all the problems in the world. I don't think every Muslim I've ever met in my life, and I'm not saying all Muslims are good. Obviously, there's going to be flawed Muslims. But every Muslim I see, they're strong enough to their own core beliefs that when they're told, okay, you can't eat pork? All right, no problem. I'm not going to eat pork. Oh, no drinking? Okay, no drinking. No smoking? All right, no smoking. You know, but with a lot of the Latinos, when they grow up Catholic, they're just kind of like, I love God. I'm going to go have sex with 8 different women. I don't even know their names. You know, it's one of the things I was just thinking about. And that's why hijabs, to me, hijabs, all right? Hijabs are beautiful, and I think they're great. And it's just weird how we've demonized it here in America, in this territory, you know, how we've demonized it. If you're, honestly, and it's even harder in these Latin American countries because everyone's dressed so provocatively that if a woman goes in there with a hijab, they dress modestly, they're probably going to look at you like an alien. But I think that's really a trial and tribulation that we're put on this earth, because that's what the Quran says. The Quran says that we're going to be having trials and tribulations. You know, I've had my fair share of them so far, but I really believe that a lot of Muslim women, they have it almost like up to another level. Like, it's almost like when you play a video game and you got like easy, difficult, or like when you play FIFA. I know some of y'all are FIFA gamers. You got like amateur, semi-pro, world class, or no, it's professional, then world class, and then it's legendary. Like, it's kind of like that. Like, women got it all the way up to legendary. Honestly, much love to my Muslim women, because that, to me, if you follow God, even with all these people hating on you, bro, I mean, much love to y'all, my sisters in Islam. Much love also to my brothers, and I love all my brothers and sisters in Islam. You know, at the end of the day, we all have the same goal. We need to help each other, and yeah, go outside, enjoy the wonderful world outside. And to my Latinos and Latinas watching this, and no, I'm not gonna say Latinx because that just sounds odd. But to my Latinos and Latinas, we gotta up our antes. We gotta up our antics, bro. We gotta up our game, bro. We gotta up our game. It's embarrassing, bro. We're getting lapped, all right? We're getting lapped, dog, bro. Like, honestly, we gotta. And it's weird because, and I don't mean to go on to Latino culture, but I'll never forget when I was a kid. People literally worshipped El Chapo, a literal drug lord. There'd be guys wearing like a Chapo shirt. They'd be talking about, oh, El Chapo help me, help this. It's like, bro, he's a literal drug lord. Why you celebrating him, bro? Why you celebrating him, bro? Go celebrate God. Why you got a bracelet? Why you got a picture of the Virgin Mary and you worship to her? Nah, worship the one God. That's why we need to have more Latino Muslims, and that's why Houston's a W, because that's where we have the most Latino Muslims, and we're gonna grow, bro. We're gonna grow. I guarantee you, I'm gonna get some Latinos in my household. You know, I'm gonna spread mad dawah to them, and hey, maybe one day God guides them. You know, inshallah, maybe God guides them, and you know, mashallah, eventually. I don't know. I still got to practice on my words and my language, but thank you guys for watching. Alhamdulillah, and y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you like my videos outdoors, let me know, or maybe you want me to be a fat little indoor person. And also, let me clarify this. I had one person ask me, why am I always wearing this exact hoodie in my videos? That's because this is my house hoodie. This is like the hoodie I wear at home, because it's comfortable enough to where it's like, it's not meant if it's like really cold, but if it is cold, it'll still keep me warm enough and it's comfortable. And I wash it often. I wash my clothes pretty often. All right, I'm someone who likes to stay clean. All right, I like washing my clothes pretty often, but that's all I gotta say. My leg's kind of dying because I had my leg resting on it, or my foot is dying. My left foot's dying because my right leg was resting on it while making this video. I'm actually kind of uncomfortable. I'm kind of sitting on rocks right now, so I don't know, but I gotta stop being a little silly. But thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.